This is unbelievable.
What's up, window lickers? How you doing, household Chaos Goblins? We are so glad you all came to one spot to sit and listen to two guys give their thoughts on Monday Night Raw. That's what we're here for. That's what we do every Tuesday night here at 6 p.m. Well, you know, little 6 p.m.-ish. That I think that gets us out of the water, right?
Yeah.
You add the ish on it,
yeah. Plus or minus 30.
Plus or minus 30, you know, just keeping it in the old betting world. So, fans, it was a really good Monday Night Raw. One better than what we've been seeing. I think we could all agree on that in the household. We've been a little down on WWE as of the past couple weeks. But before we get into that, why don't we kick over to my co-host over here? He's a good guy. He's a fun guy. He's a creative.
I'm not a mushroom.
You see that he's around, smaller minds all day. You're not that full adult mind. So he's got the dad jokes. He is our Chaos Goblin. He is Kevin Kalloway. How are you doing, my friend?
I am well. I'm gearing up for the end of my school year, and man, yeah, to pull the curtain back ever so slightly, Voice, we were debating, hey, do we keep watching Raw? Do we pivot for a little bit?
Yeah.
Do we wait for it to come back? But it came back in a big way here, so I appreciate that. And we were saying it as well. We were like, it's been a downer couple of weeks, but just give it time. We'll give it some time. And I'm glad we did.
Because me too.
This was a much more well-defined, and it seems like more like course-corrected Raw. I'm excited to see what they do with Saturday Night Main Event this weekend, only in the sense of, like, I don't really know what they're going to do for a lot of it. And I appreciate not knowing, even if I don't really see, is there like a main event match?
You know what? Let's pull up the card.
I might have to pull up the card real quick.
If I'm going to be off the hand with you, no, I don't think there is.
Unless they're going to announce one on SmackDown and then immediately have the match. But that seems, I don't know. It seems no. But, I mean, you also have back-to-back, essentially, weekend events.
Well,
so what can you do?
Yeah. I mean, we're going to have a tag team championship match.
Yep.
We're going to have the Intercontinental match. That's going to be a good one. Penta and Ethan Page.
Street Profits and Vision are going to be really good too.
That's going to be good too. I think the story that they're telling there is entertaining, and it's something that can have a lot of meat to the bone.
Yeah, and then I think they just announced this. I didn't see announced, but I'm sure it was announced on Raw. I just wasn't paying attention. Was Becky and Soul.
Oh, yeah.
And I would imagine that's the main, right? I would imagine that's the main. I can't see anything else on the card that might.
Well, you could definitely put that as a main for, but is Becky putting the IC?
Yes.
She is putting it up.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
Because the only other one I would think would be Penta and Ethan. But I think, to me, if I'm looking at the organization of this card, and we'll see if it comes true, I would argue you start with Penta and Ethan, or you start with Vision versus Street Profits. Like, the beginning of the card is that match, because it kicks off the rest of the show.
So you're saying a big swing opening match?
Yeah, second match, I'd be shocked if this wasn't the second match. Oh no, sorry. There's 5 matches on this card
Yeah,
because
we
there's
have.
also Rhea Ripley, Charlotte, and Alexa versus the Baddies, which is what I'm calling them. I don't know what they're calling themselves.
They don't have a name. They
I-
are right now.
They are Jade Cargill and Baddies 2.0.
Yeah, B-Fab and Michin. Yeah,
I assume that will be tag title match. I think not tag title as in the men's, but women's. I think is going to be the second match on the card. Because I'd be shocked if they changed the titles. I think that's the only one to me I look at and I go, I don't think that's going to be a title change. I think they're going to keep Paige and Brie.
they seem to be. Paige and Brie seem to be hitting on a lot of cylinders.
Yeah, because then you can put. You probably put. Now there's a lot of tag matches. Now I might be talking myself out of shit. There's going to be a tag match back to back at some point. So maybe you lead Vision and Street Profits. So the first match is Vision and Street Profits. Then you break it. Then you do Paige and Brie as a second match. Then you break it up in the middle with Ethan and Penta. Since Rhea is the biggest female star on the card, other than maybe Becky, I think you have them be what people would say is co-main, but I just say second to last match. And I think Becky and Soul have to be the main.
Is there any spot in your brain, Kevin, before we move forward, that thinks maybe SmackDown they add another match?
How long are these shows? 2 hours?
Roughly, yeah.
Nah, there's too many commercials for a 6th match. There's too many commercials to get to. Now, if this is a 3-hour show, I could see him adding one more.
Fair point.
So the start time is supposed to be 7 p.m. It's usually 8. It could be a 3-hour show. If it's a 3-hour show, I could see him adding another match.
Okay. Well, we'll put a pin in that, and we'll see what they do. We'll definitely hit SmackDown on Friday and see what happens there. But here at In Your House, we have some things moving around. We have some things brewing up. Kevin, can you hit us with what's happening tomorrow with House and his interview series?
House with a little surprise from swinging fences. Because we had some technical difficulties yesterday with our interview, House wanted to make it up to everybody. And he went out, we used our connections all around that we made some at Squared Circle Expo, and we said, well, there's this young lady in JCW who seems to be getting a lot of attention around her. So now House is having a sit down with one Paige Collette, the Black Dahlia herself.
That's
and
gonna be cool.
I think that's going to be a really good interview, and I love her story on what she's overcome. I think that's very interesting, and it's always good to see people succeed because it reminds me of people like Gregory Irons or Zach Gowen, who had to overcome such things just to like stand in a wrestling ring, let alone do things in it.
Yeah.
So
Very
shout
cool.
out to Paige. She's very persistent when it comes to a lot of stuff, and she's making waves because of it.
Cool. I really think she's gonna have a really good sit down.
House is good about bringing the conversation out of people. Him and
Yeah.
Annie are fantastic at it.
Yeah, he House has this way of definitely giving people that shining light, and they seem to run with it. Like they take that moment and they run with it, and I thought it was really cool. We have Ribshot chiming in. I saw the interview yesterday. Unbelievable scenes. Yeah, if you're speaking of with House and was it Gaston?
Gaston Leroux, yeah.
Yeah, Gaston Leroux. We had some technical difficulties. He was caught in the middle of a little bit of a rainstorm.
It's just a little.
A little one.
Mind
I'll
you,
tell
there was
this.
60-mile-an-hour gusts near me, so
Dude.
I guarantee you he was getting hit by the same stuff.
I stepped out of work and it was raining sideways.
Jesus.
I got into my car and it was like, when you go to an amusement park and you're like, oh man, it's a little hot. How can I cool off? The bridge with this big slide that comes down and you get all sprayed. That's how wet I was when I got into my car. And it's
Jesus
only
Christ.
a 15-second walk to my car. It was horrible. It was very brutal, but that's where we're at. Rib Shot, I want to give you a shout out. I just checked out your Scott Steiner video that you released yesterday. It said on YouTube that it's released yesterday. I know it's not intentionally funny, but goddamn it, Scott Steiner cracks me the fuck up when he's in the middle of just talking, because that's Scott Steiner. Like what we see is what we get, and the big bad the just his whole presence. He was
Big
Big
bad
Papa
booty
Pumpo,
daddy.
the big bad booty daddy. All that was just his actual normalcy turned up a little bit, and I love it. It was a great cartoon. I thoroughly enjoy it. Go check out Rib Shot, everybody. He's doing amazing stuff over there at YouTube. You're going to enjoy his content. Some great stuff, man. Thank you for creating some of that stuff, man. All right, Kevin. We've talked enough of things that only matter to maybe us and our small circle of friends. So let's get into it. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. What everybody wants to talk about. How first off, they started off with a bang, and let's just go from there because I know we both have some thoughts on that.
We do.
And I mean, it got intense in there. We were going back and forth in the chat, and I was like, man, this is an assault. We're just witnessing an assault. And but it was fantastic. I enjoyed the story that they're telling. There are some things that don't make a little sense, and Kevin's going to get more into that because Kevin breaks down things for us, and he's going to give us a different aspect to view this from, and it makes a lot of sense. But at the end of the day, though, what I loved about this whole segment as a whole is everybody is putting in that emotional work. Everybody is trying to get you to bite on the reality of what they're trying to present in the story. And it's working on some levels. Jacob, I'm almost certain when he shows up to family functions, somebody pats him down. Because this dude, he is what it took 3 people to do what he does to 3 people by himself when he doesn't get jumped.
Correct.
So Kevin, I'm going to let you take it away. I've done fluffed it up enough. So what were your thoughts on it? And let's educate some people on your way of thinking on this.
So generally speaking, and this isn't like a guaranteed 100% of the time, but in this scenario, I don't think it's different. Generally speaking, when it comes to confrontations, the heels throw the first punch unless we're going right into a fight, in which case, like, we're just hockey fighting, right? In both scenarios, not only did Jay bring a weapon to the ring right at the beginning of this segment, so he brought a chair, and I get that they're trying to put over Jacob as being a threat, so, like, they need a weapon to equalize it and things like that.
Yeah.
But then he swung first.
Yeah.
So, like, that was kind of awkward. Because if you have Jacob swing first there, hit Jimmy, and then Jay can hit him with the chair, and then he no-sells it. Like, we can get there a different way.
Yeah.
Because then we can still have the baby faces defending things instead of trying to be on the offense, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
Because baby faces, there's a time for baby faces to be on the offense, and I think Roman came in afterwards and he threw the first punch. I would have preferred Fatu throw the first punch there, especially. But I actually think Roman throwing it there was more forgivable than Jay's, in the sense that, like, Jay wasn't provoked.
Yeah.
Roman just saw his cousins get laid out, just get attacked, just get Tongan death gripped. I would have preferred him, instead of sauntering to the goddamn ring. Let's have some courage. Let's get there. Let's have a pep in your step, dog.
Yeah.
But no, we had to get through the whole entrance just for him to get down there so that they could have a standoff. If you're that angry to throw punches, just jump in the ring and throw punches. we're trying to make too much of a movie of some of this when it should be more of a street fight, more realistic. And it's not bad. So I also want to say, like, I know I'm nitpicking here. I know I'm looking at some things and just giving some insight. I didn't hate this segment. I just would have set it up a little differently.
Yeah.
Because especially the end, like you said, they were giving him the pepper and they were giving him an assault. And, like, they tied him up in the ropes. They 3-on-1'd him. They double-teamed him. They triple-teamed him. They did all of this stuff. And you know what? It made Fatu look more like a babyface and them to look like heels. Because they're sitting there doing old bloodline shit.
Yeah.
And even LA Knight later in the night looked him in the face and said, old bloodline shit again, huh?
Going back in time.
But the worst of it to me, this was the worst of it. When Roman went up the ramp and Adam Pearce came out, he looked at Pearce and said, now you can fire him. As if to say, like, he should be out of the company. I don't want to deal with him anymore.
Yeah.
It seems like Roman's scared.
It does. It does.
And it took tribal combat invoking, which means he can't disagree with it, basically, because it's against his own tribal chiefdom or whatever, lore it has. Like, he can't deny that challenge. It's like a trial by combat, when you're about to get the death penalty or whatever in ancient times. It just made him seem like such a dick.
It did.
Like such an asshole.
Yeah.
And it's so counterintuitive to me unless you're going to turn Roman and all the bloodline heel again. Because now you have momentum to do that. And I get that you don't really want to change Roman in the sense of, like, he got over as a face doing this stuff too. But you're going to end up costing your baby faces that you're trying to make. Because is Fatu a baby face or is he a heel at this point?
Well,
because I would argue I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, and like we had Grun chime in. He's saying that both sides seem like tweeners to him.
But that's a problem for Jacob, and I brought that up before.
Yeah.
Is Roman can be a tweener. For Roman, this will not hurt him. That he can ride this line all he wants. But if he's going to ride this line, he needs to be with people who are also going to be able to ride the line. And right now, Fatu isn't the icon status to ride the line. He still needs time to cook. I don't think this brings him up to that status if we can't either get behind him or get against him, if that makes sense.
That's true. And to me, this would be kind of the perfect time to give him more baby face points, because they're obviously what we just seen right now. If you look at it from the fan aspect, Jacob got jumped and it took all of that. Like what you're talking about, you would have rather seen Jacob hit Roman first. Totally agree with you on that one, because that would give him that I'm backed into a corner, I have to fight for my life.
Yeah.
For me, when Roman does it, it's I'm taking every last chance I possibly can to get Jacob away from me or beat him down.
Yep.
And when he did that with Pierce, that's what I seen more of validating what my thought was with that. So when you're talking about that, Kevin, I'm starting to think maybe they are pushing Bloodline more to heel, and they're going to give Jacob. They gave him that babyface rub with what we just witnessed. I mean,
but what they haven't given him is actual Jacob Fatu babyface run.
True.
Not Street King Solo Sokoa cosplayer Jacob Fatu.
True.
Babyface run.
True.
Now he looks like the Samoan werewolf again.
Yeah. So now,
if we're going to use that as a catalyst to keep him Samoan werewolf and more psycho babyface, I think that can work. I still think he's a stronger heel. But if you want to keep him babyface and the crowd isn't going to let you turn him heel, or whatever the case may be, at least give him his goddamn character back.
Yeah. And Anthony, that's exactly what Kevin was wrapping up with that. And that's your way of putting it perfectly.
Yep.
That's exactly where I think we're at with Jacob
Yep.
and what's happening there. Um, yeah. So overall, thought this was a decent segment.
Yep.
It played well.
Yep.
And
Despite
pushed
my
the story.
nitpicks, I did enjoy it, and I am
Yeah.
excited for Tribal Combat because I think there's a legitimate chance Fatu could win this.
Yeah. And it could be fun.
Yeah.
It could be
Could just
very
be
fun
fun,
and
too.
interesting. And it doesn't have to be long either.
No. It will
We
be, but we didn't have to be.
yeah, it can be
It's a
just
Roman
short.
match. It's going to be long. It's going to be long.
Yeah. Yeah. And tribal chief, I guess you gotta milk the cow when it's there, ready to be milked.
Yeah.
All right, so Kevin, let's move on to the no DQ match, the street fight that we had, because two of our who we talk about, who are some of our favorites right now, who are moving because we just like the way they move. We like their matches that they go into. Finn Balor and uh, I messed it up.
DJ
It's
McDonough.
DJ McDonough. I almost
JD
said
McDonough.
dude. I almost said DJ Tanner. I almost went full house with it for some goddamn reason.
Wow.
JD McDonough. Anyways, so this was great. I love a good street fight. I love the way that they implemented the trash can with finishers. I love all of that stuff. Kevin, for more, because people have heard me talk about these matches through my ECW, all the different death matches that I've enjoyed. But let's get your insight on this. First question. Street fights on a Monday Night Raw. Where do you feel about that? Second question, this match in particular with these two guys, where do you fall in this one?
When it comes to street fights on Raw, I hate when it's in the middle of the card.
Ooh.
And the reason I hate when it's in the middle of the card is because it doesn't feel as important. Give it to me at the beginning of an hour or as the main. Those are traditionally and I know we're on Netflix now, so everyone can have their opinion on that, on how that streaming stuff works. But to me, when we're looking at quarter hours, and to me, when we're looking at beginning of hours, when we were watching Monday Night Raw, or Raw's War, or whatever, however we were calling it then, voice, we always had something big happen at the 9 o'clock hour, at the 8 o'clock hour, at the 10 o'clock hour, and for the main, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where it feels like a street fight should be. Because otherwise, everything else in the middle gets lost in the shuffle with everything else. So I thought this was a street fight. I didn't hate it. I thought they got a little innovative with some of the stuff, but ultimately I wasn't shocked by the outcome. I thought they tried hard, but at the same time, it's their third TV match in 4 weeks. And I get that you're building up to this street fight, but I'd have preferred this on Saturday Night Main Event.
Ooh.
Put a street fight on an actual end of the week show.
Yeah. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Because you would definitely get that hyped up energy from the crowd. And we all know they tend to go the extra mile when it comes to that. Yeah. I'm not saying that they didn't go the extra mile in this match. This was a great one. I mean, it started off with the kendo sticks out the gate and just some beating going on. Yeah. I enjoy that.
I'll hit these two comments from Anthony too, just because he got them in right as we were ending the Bloodline chatter. Give me the first one first. I don't think they're going to turn Bloodline heel.
Oh.
I think what's going to happen is once Robin wins Tribal Combat, they're going to bring Jacob in and slowly turn the group into what we see with Jacob. Maybe, but at that point, we're just rehashing Bloodline stuff. I think it just becomes the same thing as it was with Solo, unless you're going to show more dissension from Jacob and Roman like he's there against his will. I don't see a whole lot of benefit of Roman winning the Tribal Combat, actually, because I think you just get more of the same if he does. Mm-hmm. I see more value in Jacob winning the Ulafala and the title, and then Roman having to chase him, because that will be a more compelling story for Roman. That being said, do I think they're going to do that? Probably not. I think they're probably just going to have Roman win. I think Jacob will be a much more reluctant member than Solo was in the bloodline. If that's the case, though, he's going to be scheming, or he might just disown the family or something along those lines. I don't know what he'll do. But if you put him on a leash with Roman, I think it devalues him. And then the second comment, I don't think it's going to be a standard street fight in tribal combat. I think it's going to be three stages of hell. I don't remember how tribal combats run. Tribal combat in the past, because I think there's only been 2 of them. Tribal combat in the past has been a one fall to the finish, but it was anything but a standard street fight. It was very violent. It was very destructive. It's not going to be a standard street fight. I definitely agree with you on that. I think it's going to be something more over the top. And I believe one of the stipulations to tribal combat is that it is invalidated if somebody interferes. So they could go that route too, where someone from the family interferes, but it's not the Usos interfering. It's somebody completely different, and it would invalidate some piece of it. I think that might be a more compelling way to get out of Roman losing if you're trying to stop him from losing. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I don't think Bloodline is going to end up going heel, though. I think they're going to keep Roman somewhere in between. And I honestly think that's going to end up hurting the Usos more than it's going to be helping Roman. Because Usos are better as faces, where people can get behind them. And if they're in the gray area stuff, I don't think they survive as well.
Yeah. I mean, and we've seen that rodeo. So hopefully, who knows what they'll do.
I don't know.
We'll figure it out, though.
Yeah, I'm willing to go for the ride. I'm willing to be wrong. I'm willing to be surprised.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of this.
Yeah, it's called entertainment. Yeah, we enjoy that. We love being entertained. So we were on, I forget where we were at with the Finn.
We were wrapping up at the end of that. Just kind of like, where did we go from here, I guess, would be the last piece of it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Dom.
It's got to be Dom.
Yeah,
I mean, Dom came out there. He got foiled. I think Dom probably ends up winning this feud with him and Fat Balor. I think that makes the most sense. It could be one of those things where Dom wins the battle, but not the war as far as Judgment Day goes. Because I still think there's more to come from Balor and Roxanne. I think there's more to come with that particular interaction area.
Yeah, I can see that too. And that kind of intriguing more so with that pairing too.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin. So this is the time in the show where, well, let's talk about what you want to talk about.
Well, brother, there is legitimately only one thing that shocked me last night to my core, and it was Brock Lesnar returning. And I didn't foresee this happening with the Obafemi Open Challenge. It was not even on my radar. And anyone who's been in the IYH chat, house, anyone, will attest to me saying, I don't know what the hell they're doing here, and this is stupid. We're just sending Oba out there to murder people.
Yeah.
And it's meaningless. And you know what, Voice? It was. But it was a setup.
Yeah.
Because none of us thought that Lesnar hadn't retired at Mania.
No. We had a send-off to him here.
We had a whole send-off. We had a whole thing. And we got wham-beazled.
We did. And we love it.
And again, for another time I get to say on this stream, man, I love getting worked.
Me too. It's so great.
I love getting worked. Because then I can have a genuine surprise. I was sitting on the couch with Annie, and I saw Oba get attacked, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? And then all of a sudden, I saw the fireman carry pick up, and I think I yelled at the screen, looked at Annie, and said, oh my God, it's Brock! And like, I really enjoyed that surprise.
I did too.
I generally agree, Daniel Garcia, it can generally be too predictable, but when they keep something like this under wraps and do it well and do it like this, if you said you were predicting Brock Lesnar coming back after all of that, maybe you had a conspiracy theory, but you weren't sure. You weren't
Yeah,
sitting there
we
defending
didn't
it to
know.
whole highly hell. Like it wasn't happening because nobody saw this coming to a point where they believed it with all their bones. It was a great work. It was a great moment. I think now we get Clash in Italy where Brock gets his win back. And I don't think it hurts Oba at all.
No,
And I think
no.
Brock cheats to win.
And I think it's going to be a fun match. It's going
I
to
think
be,
it's going to be a finishing spammer Brock Lesnar match. And then I think we're going to see him actually retire in Minnesota like we were all predicting.
yeah. Yeah, well, we can recall back, I believe it was a year ago, Trips gave some type of interview, and he was discussing the leaking things to people he knew who would say things. And this one was definitely well hidden because we had Brock put all his stuff in the middle of that ring. He shed some tears. He like, when did you ever think you would see Brock be that emotional?
I once again say what we've always said on this is that Brock Lesnar may be the single greatest salesman in wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. I the I don't know what to say to this one because I got worked.
And I don't even know if fighting's wrong here, which is a good point. Did Brock walk away and TKO got nervous and backed the Brinks truck up to his farm, or was it all a work? I don't know.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I love not knowing that.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer.
Yeah. I don't either.
I kind of hope it was all a work and they got me the whole time.
Me too.
I hope it wasn't a Brinks truck moment. But even if it was, like, we got something out of it.
We did get something out of it. We got that shock that we loved when we were kids that kept us into this this world of wrestling. And honestly, all I can think of is that night after that match, he's sitting down with those guys. He's sitting down with Trips. They're eating steaks and they're just laughing their asses off.
Yeah.
And they're like, Brock, you sold it. You cried out there. People believe that you did the ultimate sign.
Dude, you know what would be even better is if they decided all of the stuff, like all the like, hey, like we're gonna have Oba do this is how we're gonna do it. And then Brock went, okay, bet. Like, and then we'll do the 3 matches after this, you know, whatever. We'll do a series of whatever. And then Brock pulled that shit on the fly in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I want this in my soul so bad where he just walks to the back without his boots and his gloves on, and Trips is standing there going, what the hell are you doing? And he goes, I'm working.
I love it. I love it because I was listening to, I believe it was Austin Theory, and he was talking about taking the F5 on top of the Elimination Chamber, and he was saying how AJ was up there practicing with the pad, and Brock did it one time. AJ was like, he goes, AJ doesn't cuss. You know, AJ's either hurt or pissed off if he cusses. And he was like, fuck that. I'm not taking that. No. And so he said Vince looked over at him and he's like, you're going to take it. And he's like, yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. So he gets up there and same thing. And Brock does the thing. He says, I land on my feet. And I'm like, okay, if he throws me just like that, all this stuff. So it comes to the moment. And it's that moment where, remember, Bobby Lashley got taken out. So his chamber lit up. And then Brock busted out of his chamber.
Yep.
Okay, that was Brock just going on his own. Yeah. And the thing is, though, and I think he kind of realized that maybe you have to let Brock know if you're going to do something, because everybody else in that match knew what was going to happen because they were all supposed to look at the chamber and be like, oh, he's not, no one's there, and then wait for Brock when his chamber goes off. And they were like, yeah, you should probably tell him that shit because that motherfucker beat his own pod to get out of that thing.
Yeah, well, it's my turn.
He's a wild dude. Yeah, he was also talking about how he was hearing things just break when he was climbing up there.
Jesus.
And he was like, I'm either going to fall through this thing. He said he landed on his feet again, like it was perfect. but he landed really hard on his feet when that happened. But
Jesus.
just a fun
Yeah.
Brock story, I guess.
And definitely fighting. It definitely felt like the Seth Rollins swerve with the injury. It felt way more like that kind of. It felt
Yeah,
like that nice work where it's just like, oh shit, here comes the moment.
yeah, because that was definitely another one that they got us with. They hooked us.
Yep.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. All right, Kevin, what else do we need to discuss about this Monday Night Raw?
Man, I'm just gonna glance over this just because I'm really excited for the match. Um, El Grande Americano and OG Americano. I'm so
Okay.
ready for their AAA match. I'm
Yeah.
so ready for Mask versus Mask.
When is that exactly?
I believe it is the 30th. No. Yes, the 30th? Yeah, because Clash in Italy is on the 31st. I believe it's that same weekend. It's either Friday or Saturday.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you which. But it's coming up soon, and I'm excited for that match.
How do you think this one's going to pan out? And
They would be insane to take the mask off of El Grande Americano. They should take it off of Chad Gable. And Chad Gable can go back to Chad Gable and still be okay. But
makes the
Ludwig
most
can't go
sense.
back to Ludwig and be okay.
Yeah, no, I kind of see where you're at with that one too, and it's almost like if he wouldn't have played the character so well, he wouldn't be in this kind of position that he's put himself
He
in.
might not know. He got so fucking over at AAA
He
to the
did.
point where people booed the shit out of Chad Gable coming back. They
And
booed the shit out of that man.
and how do you steal somebody's
Gimmick,
character?
and you become the face. And I'll tell you how. I can tell you exactly how he did it. He learned Spanish. Done. Done. Because
Very
OG
true.
Americano keeps coming out and still going, Graciaso! And like shit like that, where he just puts an O at the end of words. Because he's a natural, like, Chad Gable is really good at being a dork heel who can back it up and be a shit goblin.
Very true.
He's so good at it. And under that mask, it just gave him extra ammo. That's all it did.
Yeah.
Because he was a heel when he left. Like they weren't getting behind OG Americano before he got injured. They were booing against him.
Yeah.
So then they replaced him with Kaiser. And Kaiser got the boos because now it's just, well, he's a fake faker. So, like, this guy's a double piece of shit. But then he started learning Spanish and he started getting over it. He started cutting shit in Spanish. And, like, over time, it's just like, oh, he respects Lucha. Let's do this. And then OG came back and they're like, well, this guy is way worse than the guy who can speak Spanish and relate to him.
And that is very smart play, though.
It is.
Like, it really is.
Ludwig guaranteed himself a job at AAA going forward because even if he gets unmasked for some insane reason, they go with that. Ludwig could stay down there, keep speaking Spanish, and still have a job.
Yeah, 100%. No, you're right on there with that. It's almost like it's the reverse of it here in America when we fall in love with a foreign talent who may not have that the language down perfectly.
Think
things
like
that.
EO, think Asuka.
But when we see them diving into it and learning, Stephanie
Vicaire is an excellent example.
we're seeing it happen. You get a lot more love, and I understand that it's a difficult thing because I can almost assume it was probably there was some little difficulties for Kaiser when he was learning Spanish, and he might mess up here and there, and you get a little frustrated, but at the end of the day, if you can accomplish that, it's like Kevin said, you almost guarantee yourself a job going forward because they know they can rely on you for that whatever character they're trying to present. And I mean, Kaiser, there's so many interesting ways if you take that mask off him that you could run him in AAA.
Yeah. I think it's smarter to keep it on him because then the reason I say that is just because the alternative is keeping OG Americano under the mask, and I don't see how that's a lot of benefit for Chad Gable at this point, in
True.
the sense of just where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Whereas if you want to keep the babyface under the mask, I think that you end up with more stuff going forward.
True. Yeah. I like we said earlier, there's more meat on that bone going
Yeah, I
that
think there's
way.
still more meat on the Kaiser bone than there is on the Chad Gable. But I also think there's more meat on the Chad Gable bone than there is Ludwig Kaiser, like in general.
True.
So like, take the mask off Chad, make him Chad again. Keep the mask on Kaiser. Keep him keep the Los Americanos together. Because then what happens to his boys? What happens to my Pete Dunne and my Tyler Bate boys?
I say keep the mask on him no matter
Keep
what
the
happens.
mask on them. I was talking to Annie about this too. I'm like, oh my God. Because I know a lot of people in wrestling. A lot of people in wrestling struggle with their like facial expressions and things. And I think Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate are incredible workers, but they show more personality under that mask without their face showing.
They do.
Than they do when they don't.
It's almost like that security blanket for Linus. They can do things. They're
allowed to do
tricking
dumb
that
things.
mind to where they're able to go into places where without that mask,
Bingo.
they may not. Yeah, that.
And I think
that's a
Tyler
powerful
Bate
thing.
was always able to go there, no matter if he had a mask or not. I think the person who actually struggled with it more, and this is not this is not an indictment of him. He's a better worker than me, but Pete Dunne tried to be the cool guy all the time, and he's in Atlanta Giants, and I don't think you can realistically look as intimidating when you're so much smaller than so many of the guys on the WWE main roster.
Well,
So
yeah.
instead, you make him more of a caricature. And if you make him more of a caricature and put him under a mask, Pete Dunne has everything working for him in the ring. So now it's just about getting something that fits. And I think this actually, wildly enough, as stupid as it was that we thought at the beginning of it, just like with Kaiser, as stupid as we thought it was at the beginning, this all came full circle and fucking worked.
No, it did. It did. And Pete Dunne walking around the locker room, and every time he turns around, one of them giants hit him in the head with their microphone hanging down.
Yeah.
No, that you can't be tough if that's hitting you.
No.
I mean, we found out about that. There was a joke about Kevin Hart made about that.
Yep.
So yes, in your house. We believe that 100%. That's where we need him at. We need him keeping there. We had a comment from Grunmeister. What's he having to say? Pete and Tyler are fantastic.
Yep, I agree. Heavily.
Yeah, I think that's where we're collectively at here at In Your House and with the household, because we're being entertained. Once you entertain a bunch of nut jobs who love wrestling, we want you to keep entertaining us with what you're coming out with. All right, Kevin. Let's wrap this up. Let's give our final analysis of this Raw, give it a grade, and let's see. We'll give our socials at the end.
Sure. I think I will give this, just by nature of surprise. Again, I think the matchups themselves, specifically like two of them on this card, I thought they were basically the same matchups that we had last week, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
With only some level of tiny corollaries otherwise. So that's going to get me a little bit downer, but not. I like the moments in this Raw.
I did too.
And I think I'm going to give it. The matches themselves were well worked. They were just kind of samey.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it. Number system, I'll give it an 8.5. Letter grade,
Okay.
I'll give it a B. I think that's
Beautiful.
fair. I think B is good. I think we're trending in the right direction. We're setting up for Clash in Italy. I am worried that they've blown their load before the go-home show of Clash in Italy, and that next week's Raw is going to be a lot of wait and see. And I don't care for a filler episode of Raw, but I'll watch it.
Yeah. Let's just hope that they pick up the ammunition that they made in this one and they run with it, because this was a really good Raw.
Yeah.
Point wise, between 1 and 10, I'm with you, Kevin. 8.5. I'm gonna give it a B plus,
Sure.
almost an A minus.
Sure.
But I enjoyed the pushing of the stories that they're doing. I enjoyed the matches. They were well done. We can see some repetitiveness in the matchmaking, which is that's going to
Sometimes
happen.
that happens.
Yeah, especially with all the cuts that we just had. They're still trying to salvage some stories and things like that. So again, B plus, close to an A minus. We're trending upwards, and
Yeah.
I think we
Trending
both.
upwards is the important part. And also, just because I know I've been complaining about this openly in the chat and kind of on here, we finally got one of their main event guys back in the main event. We didn't
Yeah,
touch on this on traditionally on the show, but Seth Rollins finally wrestled his first Raw match in forever,
yeah,
and this was the first like main event match with a main event guy since Punk in like March.
yeah. It's
Because
been
the
a
rest
while.
of this has been main event segments, and I was getting real sick of main event segments. Give me a
The main
main event TV
segment, sure.
match. This is wrestling, not cinema. I do not care. You can end it with a segment every so often, but I don't want. This is my problems with tiny rant. All right, here we go. Tiny rant.
Get it?
My biggest fear with Roman Reigns' title reign is coming to fruition. And that's that he hasn't wrestled a singles match on TV once.
Yeah,
Not only that, but while he is champ on Raw, almost all main event segments are talk segments. They are not matches because he is the draw, which, like, I guess I quotationed that, but yes, he is the draw in theory. But, like, have him kill Dom. I don't care.
yeah,
Have him have a 5-minute match with Dom where he just dominates him. It won't hurt Dom.
no,
Make him defend a title because it seems like he's ducking people for title challengers, and that's shitty. And like, I don't know, man. I already want Punk back. I already want Punk back. Like, for as much grief as as much grief as like people gave Punk for a bunch of other stuff, but at least he was on Raw doing matches and not just talking at people
yeah,
and trying to make a movie out of wrestling all of the time. I'm not saying wrestling can't be a movie sometimes, because I think it should, but not every goddamn time. We need TV. We need TV. And
no. You're hitting on some points that a lot of people are talking about, because you look at the competitor, Darby Allin. He's
the exact opposite.
yeah. Sometimes he's doing 2 weeks,
Sometimes they
times
do
a
it too
week.
much.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we've seen that in the Guevara match, but
Yeah.
like, he's putting his title on the line.
It's the
2
story
times
they're
a week.
pushing, and I don't disagree with the story they're pushing there, because it's natural to Darby Allin's character to want to push his limits. And I think it's finally good to like bring that into the actual scope of wrestling and how he's pushing himself too
Yeah.
far. I appreciate that storytelling. I don't know if it's necessarily I don't know how it pays off. I don't necessarily always trust how they pay it off, but I like the idea of the story at least.
Yeah. And it's kind of unique for me, as the way I view this whole story with these two is MJF is pushing it to the limit with the haircut. Okay.
Yeah.
Getting his head shaved. So he's putting up something that, and this is going back to the old Hollywood where, even today looks matter. They're going to say, "Oh, he's bald now." That's the trope that they're playing into. And which I like it, because MJF is very vain. That plays into his character.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, you got Darby Allin, who's willing to do anything to put his body on the line to keep that title, to have that title, to remain what he says he is. And I think it's some great storytelling going on over there.
I don't necessarily disagree with the worry that fighting has, though, in that Darby is doing way too much and the kid's going to get hurt before the pay-per-view. When you push your body to those kinds of limits, that's what ends up happening. And wrestling, if you do that, can end up shortening your life very significantly. I don't think Darby gives a fuck as a person. And I think that's potentially more worrisome, in the sense that I wouldn't, if I was a booker, I am not in this grand scale. But if I was a booker, I would look at Darby Allin as someone I couldn't trust to be a world heavyweight title holder for a very long time. in the sense that I don't know when he's going to get fucked up.
Yeah. No, and when you put it that way, it does give you that kind of different window to look out
Which
of.
to me leans toward, and I know this is Raw talk,
Yeah.
but I'll put this in here because I'm not on AEW talk. I think MJF wins that title back.
Yeah.
And I think it makes the most sense to do that. I don't think it makes any sense to make him a bald caricature in another scene of bald caricatures in AEW. Like half the roster is goddamn bald or balding. And if you want to have MJF do that just so that you can humiliate MJF and try and do something with it, like I could see an avenue. But I think at the same time, continuing with Darby Allin as the champion, that's a ticking time bomb.
True. Yeah, because it can literally happen any Darby match.
And because he doesn't know limits.
Yeah, but I will say this, Kevin. As much as I've berated him about not enjoying his stunts that he does and things like that, this title run he has.
I've heard the title run has been really good. I gotta go. I'm going back and watching the matches at some point. Might do it tonight.
He has wrestled, and I've enjoyed his wrestling. So I know this is, like you said, this is Raw talk, but sometimes we have to get those talks out because we're not on each other's shows and doing other promotions. So that's what happens here. Yeah, real quick, I wanted to say, loving what Braun did in the breaker, what he did in the main. I thought his intensity was at a level that it needs to be for him personally as a character. It really helps push him, and Seth is just the guy to make you believe into those types of things. And I'm enjoying where they're going with that. Hopefully, it's going to be a great match when they do it.
Yeah,
we got Fightins one saying Ciampa match has been the best so far.
I have heard that.
That one was a great one. That Kevin Knight one, that one was some next level stuff too. It was really good, especially to see a young man like Kevin Knight get highlighted in a championship match up against a champion that's having a big run. I mean, shine some more light on me, please. That's all you got to say in that one. All right, Kevin, let's let these fans know, because I know you've added some new times when people can view what you're doing. Let's let them know where they can find us.
So you can find me at Kevin Kalloway on Facebook, Kalloway Kevin on Instagram. You can follow my Twitch at twitch.tv/Kevin Kalloway Pro. I will be, as I always do or try to do, every Friday is Roguelike Friday. So this Friday is no different. I will be hitting a roguelike. I think it'll be later in the day. I have to drop Nugget off with my parents because I have a wedding this weekend. So he needs tender loving care somewhere else.
Yes.
So I'll probably start maybe more like 5 or 6 o'clock as opposed to 4 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
You can catch me there. I generally stream. I didn't today only because there was a storm rolling through and didn't want to get interrupted. I generally stream as well on today, right before the show. I'll hit a quick 2-hour stream, and then I'll parlay right into this show. That usually starts around 4 p.m. on Tuesdays. House and I are starting to get more streams together. Keep on the lookout for those special streams. I'm still working out some of the bugs that I'm getting with it because streaming with someone else through the platform that we have, the very, very good Eve Mux platform, not as good with gaming until I figure out the stuff. So we're still troubleshooting that, and I'm going to troubleshoot some more on Friday, and we're going to see where that goes. And I think that about wraps it for me. There's always chances for special streams. I'm coming up to a time where my work is a little lighter over the summer, so you might see me pop in midday instead of later in the day sometimes too. So keep up with the socials for a schedule.
Beautiful. Yeah, go follow that. Their very kickoff stream. The very first one was epic. And when I jumped into to clear up storage, I looked and I was like, holy shit, these guys did about 8 hours worth of footage. I was like, wow.
A 6-hour Final Fantasy stream. I just wish it wasn't, because I was losing frames on it, so I got to figure out how to fix it.
Yeah, and we'll dive more into that and get Kevin all situated for that. So just sit with us. You'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll be good. We'll be good. But fans, guess what tomorrow is Wednesday. It's 6 p.m. You can tune in here, and it's the WCW watch along. That's where me and House we watch. Guess what? That's it. WCW, and we're in the middle of Nitro. We just started this off a couple weeks ago, and it's gaining ground. It took over our ECW watch along, which if you can find hours that we didn't cover, we would love to hear about it because we've been covering that show for over a year, and we hit a lot of the great moments of ECW. So we've moved on to WCW, and that's Meat and House at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Outside of that, there's the AEW Dynamite. Yeah, it's a fun show. It's a great show. It's a recap show. That's where OG Tony, House, and me, the voice, sit down and we recap that Dynamite that you watched on Wednesday night. And it's been a fun couple weeks that we've been doing. Dynamite, Collision, all of them have been hitting strides. AEW is moving up the favorite ranks over here at IYH. We're catching a lot of their matches and sharing them. So come join us at 6 p.m. on Thursday. And fans, you know it. Here, this is where you get your Monday Night Raw recap on a Tuesday with me and Kevin Kalloway, 6 p.m. It's a fun time. It's a great time. We have so many amazing fans. Fighting's one, thank you. Rib Shot, go check his stuff out. He dropped something earlier today or yesterday. Also, he was saying it's to the song of The Wrestler from Bruce Springsteen. So go check that out. Check out everything that our friends are doing, and always stay tuned to the In Your House Network. Fans, we will catch you next Tuesday for another recap of Monday Night Raw on a Tuesday. For me and for Kevin Calloway and the In Your House Network, bye bye.